Sound really travels across this lake. Good morning. I'm in Hartman Creek State Park. Now when I got here, I asked for a map and they gave me this. And I was like, oh my, this is a much bigger park than I thought it was. It's not as big as the map makes it look. It's still fairly big, but everything's an easy hike. It is just a lot of trails is what it is. So here's the campground. We've got this extensive horse trail system over here. We've got this really, really extensive bike trail over here. Single track, more difficult, fat tire track out here, I believe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anywhere near that, but I'm going to see what I can do. Group parking, group campground. You have to actually get from outside to access that. Well, let's go see what I find. I have explored all the way around all of these lakes, and beyond this there is other natural areas. There's wildlife, Edmonds Creek Fishery Wildlife Area, and I think there was another wildlife area of some form beyond here. And we've got the Ice Age Trail coming straight down through the western edge of the park. Let's go look around. All right, so this is my campsite. It's fairly typical here. They are fairly large, well cleared out, with really good cover between you and your neighbors. They do have a lot of trees in them, these mature pines, that may make it difficult to maneuver your trailer in here. Fortunately, that means I will not be able to do a good, complete tour of this campground. It is too long to do a walking tour, and it's impossible to see anything as a driving tour. All right, to give you a little sense here, 20, 21 over here. They're still kind of tucked back in the woods. And then we hit this open spot, but that's a place for overflow parking, camp post, and then really one more spot down there beyond the camp post. It's wide open. Over here at 25, you can see they're kind of squeezed amongst the trees. And this set and a group along the edge here are over a ravine, and there's fencing along there to keep you from falling off. Of how deep some of these sites are, but you gotta thread the needle between trees. And I got a section here that is much more open and not so wooded between. 35 on my left, 34 on my right. But you can see I'm clear open in this section all the way over to the shower house from more simple bathroom. Now this campground does have two camp posts. First one was at the beginning near my site. I've got a second one here. Just has a teardrop. So now I'm at 38, 102. Wow, I've squeezed a couple extras in here. 39. You can see it's open out here in this grouping. 40 over there. Okay, the last of the open sites was 51. To get to 52, see there's still massive sites. Like, look, finally, there's the camper. But now it's all filled in again. Okay, we're on the back side. Let's take a look at 58 here. Empty this weekend, at least so far. They are a pair. Let's take a look at what they offer. So they're obviously joined here, but they seem to be well beaten down out here. Ha! There's the trail I was looking for. So I'm going to use this today as my shortcut to get to the trail. Okay, I am now walking along the road. Campground is to my right over here. I'm going to work my way down there until I find the Ice Age Trail. I'm going to follow that down a little bit and take a look at these bike trails that look so intriguing. Alright, I'm going to read you a little bit of park stats here. So there are over 10 miles of trails for hiking. There are 15 miles of off-road bike trails, 9.5 miles of award-winning single-track trails ranging from easy to very difficult. What do you got for horses? Did they tell me here? Horse trails. 7.5 miles of equestrian trails. So you can definitely get out and explore. Okay, so Winfield were the original landowners here, at least Westerner landowners, and they sold the property to the DNR. So there's some evidence that this looks more modern. There are spots along here where you might find remnants of an old farmstead on the edge of the park. Well, I've made it to the Ice Age Trail. Let's go wander in a bit. See what I find. I always find it intriguing that you wander the trails in a park and there's a certain level of maintained, and then you find the Ice Age Trail and it's maintained differently. It's much more, I mean, that would be a state park trail. This is the Ice Age Trail over here. Very differently maintained. I'm telling you, everything on these maps are much closer than they appear. Let's take a look at where I am already. Okay, yeah, I want to get down here, figure out what's going on there. So we'll continue on the Ice Age Trail. Oh, the other one goes back. Lots of group campsites spurs off of it, because those are kind of weird spurs, but they're really just going to the group campsites. Okay, I'm going to follow the red line through all of the biking trails there. And I'm off at an edge prairie section, meadow, I guess. Okay, I have made it to the single track trailhead. This is what your fat tire bikes are meant for. And here, now it shows me I have got different levels of difficulty. Obviously easy, more difficult, very difficult. And I'm up here now, so it all starts from there. Good morning. Thanks for the demo. Alright, Ice Age Trail passing through now. Single track all through there. I'm gonna head into the sun for a little bit and then take you over to the water features of this park. Kind of assume this is the section that probably was a farm and it just turned into prairie. It was sold back to the state. Alright, so this path I was just on where the bird just squawked at me is an old coach road that used to run from Oshkosh to Stevens Point. Moving on. Lots of activities here. I also did see a note there's a ball field And in the corner of the ball field is a green box with all the stuff you need to use the ball field. Equipment is there for you. I haven't found it yet, but it's out here somewhere. It's a 15 by 26 foot cabin with a sleeping loft upstairs. Not originally built here, but transported here. Built by a Norwegian. But placed here along the creek. This lake is close to the campground. Campground runs along over there, but back far enough so nobody actually has lakefront. My campsite's right over there. There are a lot of kids in this campground. If you have a bike, or your kids have bikes, you can easily bike here from the campground. It's a little bit of a long walk. And if you have all your toys, inflatables, whatnots, you might want to drive over. Parking lot was full of people doing that. But take a look at the beach. There is a concessions area where you can rent all the toys you want, bikes, kayaks, paddle boards, to use them out here. You can also buy other accessories and necessities or candies and whatnot. But here is the beach. It's actually quite large, which kind of needs to be. It's like 300 feet. I'm getting here before the crowds. Although it's plenty warm now. And there is the beach. And then you can do the rentals and go out into the small pond here. It's not that big. I've already walked around it. I'm going to show you a little video that I took on my phone that shows you how well the sound carries out here. So it looks like the concession area didn't open until 10, and that's why nobody's showing up before then. All of this is available to rent, including the big mats. So that's my little review here for you of Hartman Creek State Park, just outside of Waupaca, kind of in the middle of the state, south of Stevens Point, north of Madison, somewhere in the middle. The beach looks like it has been groomed overnight, so it's nice and fresh. So you got equestrian trails, quite a bit of those. I did see a horse trailer as I passed by that area. There are a couple different little lakes. They are dammed lakes. It's all part of the creek that I used to go through. This lake, there's a little dam down over there. Trails throughout, they just kind of meander. I mean, on that side there are like 3 sets of trails, depends on if you're on a bike, on a horse, or on foot. Different trails for each. So you look at the map, it looks like a lot of trails. Well, they're independent trails. So you can wander around quite a bit, know where some landmarks are, show your kids where some landmarks are, so if they get a little wander and they get a little lost, they can find their way home. There's a nice little spot here. Hang out, sit on the lake. You can even put your feet in here and not be in the main lake. Anyway, thanks for coming along on this little trip, this little review of a park that I really didn't even know existed. I was just looking at my map. I'd never heard of it before, really. And I'm looking at my state park map now and trying to find all the little holes and places I haven't been yet. And this was right in the middle of it all. So it's like, if I made a little trip this past couple days, hit a couple sites, and I happened to be having to be in Westfield by noon today, so this was a convenient spot to stop last night, check out a new state park I haven't seen before. I got in here on a Friday night. I was able to book this site on Thursday, so it's pretty full. Obviously not crazy popular, so it was possible to get a weekend site here, which is kind of rare in some of these state parks. But there's a lot of sites. I mean, there's 100 sites over there, so there's a good variety, good options to get in. So thanks for coming along. I hope you get a good tour of the park. You get a sense of what's here: bikes, hiking, horses, kayaking, paddleboard. It's all here. They have it all. It's all pretty flat, no big hills or anything like that to contend with, because we're out in just flat sand country here. So thanks for coming along. I'll see you in the next one. Get on out there.